I'm not making this video to tell you what to do. I'm not making this video to tell anyone what to do or what not to do. I'm making this video to tell you what I did and why I'm so glad that I did, and the experiences that I've heard from women who are my very, very close friends, to women that I've talked to around the country. This topic, the topic of saving sex for marriage and virginity and all those kinds of things, is another topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about because it makes people uncomfortable, but God calls me to talk to you guys about uncomfortable things. Because when I look like on YouTube and see what young women are telling other young women about their sexuality, I know that I need to say something. I decided to save sex for marriage, and that's something that I decided when I was a teenager, and I'm not ashamed to say it because it was the best decision besides following Jesus that I ever made in my life. I talk to a lot of women around the country, like a lot of women, and have very honest conversations with them about what they've chosen in their life. And their heartbreaks and their joys. I know a lot of women, and I have very close friends who made the opposite decision that I did and decided not to save sex for marriage. And I kind of asked them in preparation for this video what they want young women to know about this, because it's a perspective that I don't have, because we chose differently. And another disclaimer is that we chose differently, but my decision doesn't make me better than any woman who has decided other than me. So I said, what do you want girls to know about this topic? But one of my friends said, she said, Emily, the people in my dorm when I was a freshman thought it was so weird that I wasn't having sex with my boyfriend, and they talked about it all the time, and they told me it's not a big deal, like whatever. And so I ended up giving into that because they pressured me, because my boyfriend pressured me. And after I gave up my virginity, I felt the emptiest I have ever felt in my entire life, and I have never felt that empty ever again in my life. And so many women I know have also told me, like, I knew the relationship that I was in was not good for me. I knew that it wasn't the right thing, but because we had brought sex into the relationship, I felt that chemical bond to that person. Like, I couldn't break it off because I was physically attached to that person, to that guy. And I had a friend tell me recently, like, I keep going back to this guy and I don't know why. And I'm like, it's because you are bonded to that man in the way that you're supposed to be bonded to your husband. That's the way God designed it. We can't beat science. There's no getting around science. You are bonded to that person in the way that you are supposed to be bonded to your husband. And that is a very, very big struggle, and it's very challenging. None of my friends who are married now say to me, Emily, I am so glad that I didn't wait. Because once you meet that man and you realize what you could have shared with him that you didn't, that you're no longer able to, so many women that I know, like, that reality is just crushing for them. Not all women experience that, but the majority, if not all of the women that I talk to, experience very, very deep heartbreak over that. I decided to wait. And was it a hard thing? Yes, but mostly it was hard because, of the persecution, of people saying, like, you're so stupid, what an idiotic decision, are you gay, do you even like guys, like, etc., and so on and so forth. And the funny thing was that I got married, and Daniel and I both waited. There are still men out there who will wait for you. Daniel did, and none of those people who told me I was stupid were standing there on my wedding day saying, what a stupid decision you made. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, you're such a prude. No one was standing there on my wedding day telling me these things. And the persecution only lasts for so long. I don't know why I'm crying. It's very emotional for me because I've seen the heartbreak that women who chose differently than me experience. Those people called me stupid and dumb out of their own insecurity, but no one was there to tell me that on my wedding day. And now that I'm married, I've been married for 8 months. A lot of people talk about awkward wedding nights and things like that. It wasn't awkward at all. It was really beautiful because Daniel is a man that I love and trust, and I knew that he wanted to marry me no matter what, not for my body, but for who I am. There was nothing awkward about it. Like, you'll be so inexperienced, this and that, whatever. You're with your best friend and the person that you trust with your entire life. There is no way to know how absolutely vulnerable sex is until you've taken part in it. There is no way to know, and it is so vulnerable It's unbelievable. To share that vulnerability with a person who has promised their life to you, that's the way it was designed. And Daniel and I share something that we have never shared with anyone else, and that is a beautiful thing as well. To know that he never experienced that with any other person, and I never experienced that with any other person, is a beautiful thing to share. And I'm a totally normal, woman. Daniel's a totally normal man, and this is something that we decided, and both of us have not regretted it for 1 second. There was never a time where I was like, wow, I wish I hadn't decided that. It is not too late to change your life. So many of my friends that I have talked to, I had given their virginity away. I've had sex with their boyfriend or a guy they didn't know, etc. And they came to a day where they're like, you know what? I'm going to change my life. I'm not going to do this again until the day I get married. And that is such a beautiful decision. And that's something that anyone can do. They can decide, you know what? I've made mistakes. I don't like the way I'm living. I don't like the way that sex with my boyfriend or guys I don't know makes me feel. Many women I talk to say I gave up my virginity, and then it was like, well, whatever. I already gave it away, so it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Giving it away does not take away from how valuable and sacred your body is, no matter what. Just because you gave it away once doesn't mean you can't change your life, doesn't mean it's not important, doesn't mean your body's not important, doesn't mean your sexuality is not important. You can change your life and say, you know what, I know this is not making me happy. I want to wait till marriage from here on out. And that's what I'm going to do. And you make a pledge to yourself or a pledge to God, whatever that looks like. And it'll be hard and it'll be challenging, but I promise you it will be totally worth it. These things are very hard to talk about, but I wanted to share that with you because very few people are telling you that it's totally worth it and you can be totally normal. And the people who hate on you, just forget them. They're not, if you get married, they're not going to be there on your wedding day calling you stupid. All you will see is the man at the end of the aisle who is about to promise his entire life to you. So that's my 2 cents. It has made me so very happy and so very fulfilled. I wouldn't change a thing. That's all for today. I love you from my heart to yours. Whatever you've decided, know that you are loved by God. And that's never going to change. All right, talk to you soon.